We're currently on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and we just had one of the scariest moments of our RV life. Let's get into it after we roll these credits. So we're driving down the road, just doing our thing, and someone pulled up next to us and said, and I didn't really know what that meant, but I look in my rearview mirror and I see what looks to be like smoke. And I can see that it's coming from the tires. And so we had just topped off our tires before we got out. I pull over and it just looks like tire smoke, you know, if you've ever seen it, you know what it looks like.
The tire wasn't telling us anything.
And so I pull over immediately, I get over, and we're like kind of pissed at the tire minder for not letting us know. We had just topped off the tires. I get out and I look, and the jacks are down. And so this is the problem that we were having before we got here, and the Grand Design techs came out and replaced our front jacks. But apparently our issue is not resolved, and so thank God for the snap pads. We're probably going to need a new set because I've just been.
That's what was smoking.
It was
technically tire.
It was tire, yeah. And so the snap pads, it looks like, have protected the jacks. They don't look torqued or messed up at all. We still need to go out and investigate, but this is kind of an unsafe situation because it's just a busy freeway, and like most places, we can't get off too far, and people don't pull over. So we're gonna lift the jacks up as quick as we can, and then we're going to bungee them up like we had.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to our next destination and we'll do some more triaging. Yeah. So.
Oof, that was actually pretty scary.
It was
smoke, though.
It was very terrifying, and especially when we were pulling over, I was like, oh my god, if we have like a two-tire failure.
Well, it was just smoke, yeah, because your brain's going so quickly, and we're like, how did we not feel this? How did our tire minder not tell us? But it wasn't the tires, so
nope, it was just scraping off the bottom, friction bottom of the snap pad. So it's still completely on there. It hasn't like removed, but you can definitely tell that it has taken an inch or so off. So
all right, well, let's go put those up as fast as possible and get off the road.
Sounds good. So we decided to bungee both sides of the back, just in case, for whatever reason, if we bungee that side, this side decides to come down. So other than that, I think we're gonna hit the road, get out of here, and get somewhere safer.
Alright, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. It's been a couple days since we got here to Magnolia Beach in Texas, which is a beautiful boondocking location. Unfortunately, it is rather humid and overcast, which is not perfect for boondocking because obviously when it's humid we want to run our dehumidifier, and when it's hot we want to run our ACs, and obviously when we're boondocking we try not to use a lot of electricity. So anyway, we probably won't stay here the full 14 days that we're allowed because of the weather, but also because we're kind of eager to just get on the road. We called Grand Design and they can't get a tech down here just because they're preoccupied with other orders right now, and So they said maybe next week they can squeeze us in. So we really appreciate just being taken care of. We're not really particular about when, or we're not ever too pushy about how fast. So that's just our personal thing. You got to go with the flow sometimes. So anyway, we might leave just to get out of here and get to an area that's closer to San Antonio, a major hub, easier for the tech to get to as well. And then also we'll be visiting Jason's sister in San Antonio, so we can actually spend a couple nights there and not have to deal with the sideways RV. So speaking of the sideways RV, you guys obviously can't tell because I'm still sitting in it. So when we got to Magnolia Beach, the driver's side jacks were sinking. So technically, I guess the RV was sinking. The jacks weren't holding pressure. So thankfully, Jared, who is a rock star, had a jack stand for us to use. So we put that under. So we're still only on level about a degree, but before that it was like getting a degree and a half, 2 degrees. So the jack stand is definitely helping keeping us somewhat level. But obviously having an unlevel RV isn't ideal, which is why we just want to, you know, spend the time that we can here, stay as cool as possible, and then head on over to San Antonio. So with that said, there is something in this area called the Aransas National Wildlife Area or Center, I can't remember, but we're gonna go check that out tomorrow with Rebecca and Jared, and they said they're dog friendly, so we're gonna bring Carmen along for the adventure and just try and decompress a little bit. We're honestly not too terribly stressed about this. I think we already mentioned this maybe in last week's video or earlier somewhere. Like if this had happened, you know, 3 years ago, we'd probably be really stressed, but hey, you just gotta go with the flow. So we're still gonna try and enjoy the area while we're here and then move on to get the jacks fixed. Well, that doesn't look good.
No. Yeah, so another travel day, and we weren't able to get a tech out last week, but we strapped up all of the jacks, we closed the valves, and drove, and we've checked them twice now, and they were fine, but I just pulled over to go to the restroom and I kind of felt a tugging on the truck, and so we get out and we take a look, and the jacks, this one is completely down and has been shredded, and it looks like the jack is messed up. So I don't even know if we're going to be able to get it up to continue our drive today. We actually do have a tech coming to our next campsite already to take a look at what's going on, but it's definitely worse for us, because now not even closing the valves will keep the jacks up. So I'm not sure what we're going to do here.
Well, and that one was bungeed, yeah.
Yeah, as you can tell, it toasted the bungee that was on it. So I think we're gonna just try to bring the jacks up, and then yeah, I'm not sure. So let's just try to bring it up first and then go from there. it is too bent to go back up, so I can't take it fully off because the hydraulic lines are all connected. But what I think I'm gonna do is try to unbolt it and turn it sideways and then bolt it. And I'm gonna turn it sideways so the thing extends forward, because behind it is the tires, so I don't want it to like extend into the tires if it does continue to extend. But that's our next course of action, making sure we can get the thing off. So let's give her a try. So,
well, I'd much rather have the pad burn rubber than the jack burn sparks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good on you, Snap Pad.
Yeah, we might need a new set though.
I think so. Money well spent. Okay. Okay. So, hold on, let me pull, make sure we got enough slack. The last thing we want is to... Oh, perfect. Whew. Good job, Lippert, at least making these the same width apart so I can fit another bolt here and make it go sideways.
Yeah.
Right? That's all right. It's okay. Here, let's get this one in. Whew. Goodness. Wow, that makes me very happy when things work out, you know?
Yeah, that's a positive attitude.
Yeah, well, otherwise I would have had to find some other way.
Yeah, at least we can get back on the road.
Yes. So this is one of those things, you know, it's not going to ruin our trip.
No.
Our trip lasts our lifetime, but still.
Well, 3 years ago it would have ruined the day.
Yeah, I think this is faster than having anyone else come out too, so I'm so glad that I've been slowly building my toolkit. And this is just having the right size wrench and socket and this bad boy. It's one of my favorites. The breaker bar,
Yeah.
and then you know the Ryobi tools, so I have my impact over there that really helped. So, and then a little bit of PB Blaster. That's a little secret. You just spray it on these slightly seized parts, and literally couldn't get it moved even with my breaker bar. Threw a little PB Blaster, and then a couple minutes later it came apart super easy. Yeah, and so the reason why we're leaving it up here is because these hydraulic lines still hold pressure for the entire system. So there's no way, I don't have any connections or anything to cap this off, and if we took it off it would just start spraying everywhere, and that's not something we want to deal with.
Nope.
So yeah, this is kind of the best way, and like I said, we already have a tech coming out to take a look at it, so when we get to our campground we'll have maybe a rocky 1 or 2 days since we won't have any supports in the back, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Okay.
All right, so we have made it to San Antonio and we left the rig here. We just put it down on its front jacks, made sure we had tire chocks, because the rear jacks are just a hot mess. So we left for a couple nights, went and saw Jason's sister, actually had a really great couple of days, and now today our jacks are getting fixed. So we opted to work from the truck today, just so Chris from Grand Design could have free reign to move the rig up and down, do whatever he needed to do. We kind of just wanted to be out of the way, even though he told us we could be inside. We just thought that would be easier. So he took a look at everything and just opted to change out the entire hydraulic system. So he replaced the previous 2 jacks about a month ago, and I will put that video up here. And then he is now replacing the back 4 jacks. He's already gotten started. These Grand Design techs just start so early and just get it done. But it might be a 2-day job, it might not. He said he's just gonna work as fast as he can. Might be back tomorrow anyway. So we're just gonna keep you updated as we continue to learn what is happening, but we can already tell it's gonna be a pretty extensive job, because not only do you now have to replace the back 4 jacks, but you have to drop the underbelly and rerun all of the hydraulic lines. And he's replacing the actual box in the front. What is that box called?
The pump?
Oh, the hydraulic pump. The main big pump in our front storage compartment. So that's where we're at, and we'll keep you posted. So it's looking like Chris is gonna finish the job today, which is shocking. And if there's one thing you can say about these Grand Design techs that we've seen time and time again, is they work their butts off. So you see it at the rallies, you see it with the mobile techs, and you see it at the factory, at the manufacturer, if you ever go up there and get work done directly from the manufacturer. So crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So now the next step is to, what did he say? We have to now test the system. So just bring in our hydraulic slides.
Fully bleed it off. We have to. We've been bringing in the everything, and then you'll see the fluid, because it's all fresh fluid. It'll be all. It looks like a strawberry milkshake, like really like frothy.
That's funny.
So.
Yes. Then that is air bubbles.
Yeah.
That is his generator going off there.
Air compressor.
Oh, air compressor. So anyway, yeah. So now he's going to be retracting and extending the jacks, the hydraulic slides, making sure that everything works, there are no leaks, and that it holds pressure, holds the weight of the RV, and then put the underbelly back on. So that's what he's working on now. But other than that, this was quite a sight to see, I guess, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it just reaffirms that although these things are, I would say, kind of a little confusing, they're not super complicated. Like they don't take magic to work, and the more you see behind the curtain, the less fearful you are. I love seeing this stuff because it makes me fear the RV less.
Yes.
Right. I understand even seeing how the hydraulic slides worked, it made me like understand them a little bit better. I've watched a bunch of videos about how our hydraulic slides work, but I didn't fully understand it until I saw it taken apart and put back together.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, that's just how you learn. That's how you get the confidence to do some of the work yourself, and then how you just understand your unit a little bit better, and you're a lot better at troubleshooting and problem solving when you understand your own unit better. So if you do have a tech and this applies for Grand Design or not, if you're getting work done on your rig, we highly recommend just talking to them, asking questions. Like, I don't know if it's been driving Chris crazy or not. I don't think so. But even throughout today, we've been like, oh, what's that do? What's that do? How's that connected? Oh, that's how that works. And so it's been nice to like even now test some of the system with him and what he looks for. And it's all just very interesting. So we encourage you to do the same just to get to know your rig a little bit better.
Beautiful. So I've been waiting all day to see. Yeah, see it? That's a rock, but that's all metal.
Oh. How
There
can
was
we
something exploded in
prevent
there.
that? Oh.
Right.
Yeah, something come apart.
grinded,
Something in the system?
It could have been in the pump. There's no telling.
Yeah.
But it's all new now. We would have kept chasing that demon forever.
All right, well, it's a good thing that Chris finished in one day and is a total rock star because it is pouring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just wanted to, I don't think Chris watches these videos, but we told him thank you a billion times in person, but we want to thank Chris and Grand Design again for, you know, just coming through for us. We really, really appreciate it. So with that said, we also have a new tool that we're gonna add to our toolkit, and we wanted to just like highlight it for you guys. When we left Magnolia Beach, obviously the bottle jack, or the jack stand that Jared let us borrow, we needed to give it back because we were saying goodbye. So Jason went out and picked this up.
Yeah, so I got a 12-ton bottle jack. For us, I think the jack stands, we just don't really have the space for them, and we wouldn't use them as much consistently. And I just wanted something to put under the front of the off-door side, because that was the side that I felt was kind of like sinking a little bit. It was like a little extra precaution that so the RV doesn't crash to the ground. So I got this pretty cheap actually from Walmart. This will be good for any other maintenance we need to do, like the truck. We have the one that came with the truck, which is great, but it's always good to have another.
Yes. So just wanted to throw that out there. We've discovered a new tool to add to your toolkit. So I guess the whole conclusion to what our issue was, and I showed you the clip, or I will be showing you the clip when I edit the video, is there was basically metal in the hydraulic fluid that Chris found when he poured out the old pump into his, hydraulic container. And obviously you don't really know what part it was from, but basically some piece, you explained it really well.
Yeah, some piece somewhere shredded, probably maybe in the pump, maybe in any of the solenoids that open. And so it was either keeping the valve open because the valve itself shredded, or some of the metal pieces got into the valve and wouldn't let it close all the way, which was causing the pressure leakage.
Right.
So because the hydraulic system stays under pressure regardless of which way, it's just which line is under pressure.
Right. Yeah. So when you do have a leak somewhere or a blockage somewhere, it affects the whole system, which makes sense as to why, our slides were popping originally and we just thought they needed to be adjusted, and then why some of them were dropping and others weren't. Like, if you really think about it, it could have just been some of that metal, shards just working through our system, damaging different parts. So we have a brand new hydraulic system now, and the rig was great overnight. Chris said we might experience some popping, which would be some of the air, but we didn't get any popping. So obviously if we experience some popping in the future, we won't stress about it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. That's what happened. I'm glad we got to the bottom of it, and I'm glad that we have a solution. I feel really good about this. I do not expect us to have any problems going forward. Knock on wood.
Yeah. And so, final things, because we have all new jacks, and 2 of our snap pads were less than primo.
Yeah,
We're,
toast.
yeah, they're toasted. We are replacing them, and so it's really interesting to look at the jacks without the snap pads. Like, I have a feeling they just feel small to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, are these smaller? I kept asking Ray, like, what they just feel smaller, but it's definitely,
They look different.
they
yeah.
just look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the snap pads. So we're very excited to get a new set put on. Our old set was amazing, and if
Yeah.
it wasn't for these jacks shoving them into the ground at 55, 60 miles an hour, they probably would have lasted another 3 years. Yeah.
You just
That's all we've had them
just a
so
guess.
far, so that's double the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at least another 3 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be getting some new pads to put on all our new jacks. And I'm excited about that because they just look so cool. They're so clean. Anyway, that's not like sponsored by Snap Pad. We just really, really like our Snap Pads. So I just wanted to say thanks to Chris one more time, and just, you know, a couple drove by while we were getting work done yesterday and were chit-chatting with us because they recognized our YouTube channel, and then they were talking to Chris about, oh, their propane regulator they think is faulty. So even in the rain, Chris wanted to go check on them. He asked what site they were in, so he's going and checking on them and probably changing a propane regulator this morning. Like,
Before he heads out, it makes a long drive to Louisiana.
yes, exactly. So these techs are amazing. If you ever get to work with one, feed them, give them water, give them beer, give them whatever, and thank them. So with that said, I think that's all from us. We're gonna head inside, so don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our Getaway gang. We'll see you next time. Bye,
Bye, guys.
guys.